Dear Doctor, but this is not a letter for the doctor only. I would like to say a few words to the keeper of my conscience, or better still, simply to a human being who seems to me to have both heart and brains equally developed. I want to beg of you once more to be truthful to me, to treat me as a sensible being, not a weak-minded woman, which I claim not to be. And just as you would tell your man patient that he had better make his arrangements to leave if he asked that question, I want to be told when the time comes. We always fear the unknown. I am not a coward, and I do not fear death, which to me means nothing more than sleep. But I cannot become resigned to leave this beautiful world with all the treasures it holds for me and for everyone who knows how to understand and appreciate them. I do not like the idea of dying in the spirit of revolt, which is now my chief feeling. But I think if I have time to get accustomed to the idea, I may be wise enough to resign myself humbly to the inevitable. I find it more worthy, and would like to leave a good example to those I love, this being my only understanding of immortality. My dear cousin, I cannot for the life of me remember saying to Leslie there is no God. It is an expression I would be quite unlikely to use, as I fully realise that none of us can know. I may have said, I do not believe there is a God who arranges our lives for us, which is quite different. Surely your boy need not put more weight on what I believe than on what you and his father believe. And if his faith is so easily influenced by someone he casually sees for the first time when 11 years old, there can be no difficulty in his faith being influenced again by his parents. Besides, you can have the help of the clergy and the churches if really your aim in life is to saddle him with a belief that requires blind faith and blind submission. I recognise it was not my place to tell Leslie about the birth of children, but you must remember that when I mentioned it to him, I never doubted that he had been already told about it by you. I shall, however, follow your advice and leave other people's children alone in the future, unless I know that their parents' views agree with ours on cardinal points. Dear Doctor, I am starting my letter on the beach, and you will have to put up with the disconnected prattle I can put down during the intervals when the little ones are playing. When the tide is low, as this week, I get a good deal of time to myself. I must confess to my shame, the sea is the greater attraction to them, and I cannot get very near it. I do not enjoy being taken down in the carrying chair, and am glad for myself and the carriers when I have reached my destination. During today's journey down the slope, I had to nurse Henry's toy dog, and May's new pet, a black kitten, also a present from our kind-hearted neighbour, the farmer. Of course, nothing has been of any interest except the kitten. Henry declares that it laughs at him, and May tries to teach it to obey. If it does not die of acute indigestion, it is certainly not the children's fault. My idea is not a life without religion. It is a nobler religion I want. Of course, very good men have lived and are living to whom our religion has been a help, but science is progressing daily, and in harmony with it, our moral standard should be higher enough to do right simply because it is right. A religion that has helped mankind to get somewhat better should be resigned to let a still better one take its place. Like a growing child, humanity must outgrow its infancy, must stand alone one day, and be able to stand straight without support. Like a good mother, Christianity should resign her rights when higher claims arise, and be proud and contented to have helped so long. Your God, I hope, my God I feel sure, can only become greater from being better known. Like truth and all that is truly admirable, he can stand the full light. Science is turning on the light, but at every step forward, dogmatic religion attempts to turn it out, and as it cannot succeed, it puts blinkers on its followers and tries to make them believe that to remove them would be sin. This is the only way in which I can understand their continual warning against knowledge. These theological articles, a grand word, I write to you, leave me always a little fearful as to how they will be received. But you have never disappointed me yet. Your mind is big enough to hold your views and give mine a fair thought, and your heart knows mine means no ill. Whatever we cannot know, let us simply and truthfully agree not to know. But no one must be expected to take for granted what reason refuses to admit. More and more to me, this simplest of thoughts seems right. Live. Live keenly, live fully. Make ample use of every power that has been given us to use for the good end. Blind yourself to nothing. Look straight at sadness, loss, evil. But at the same time, look with such intense delight at all that is good and noble, that quite naturally the heart's longing will be to help the glory to triumph, and that to have been a strong fighter in that cause will appear the only end worth achieving. The length of life does not depend on us, but as long as we can look back, to no waste of time, we can face the end with a clear conscience, with cheerful if somewhat tired eyes, and ready for the deserved rest with no hope or anxiety for what may come. To me, all the effort of man seems vain, and his ideal thrown ruthlessly to the ground by himself when, after a life of free and joyful effort, he stoops to pick up a reward he does not deserve, for having simply done his duty. When first I knew my death was at hand, I stood facing the blank, black wall. Sobbing, I hammered at it, and with set teeth and clenched fist attempted to knock it down. To my vain and tired effort, it seemed but to increase in gloom and immovability, until my tear-dimmed eye perceived entrenched there not only the lawful strength of immutable death, but greediness for its prey, the longing to crush me at once, even before my time, and pitiless joy over one more poor mortal's discomfiture. Then I revolted against so much unnecessary cruelty, and turned from it in disgust. I vowed that wall should not crush me. Bad enough to die at my age. While life is mine, I mean to live. You know how I have striven, how I have laboured. Small and big duties have filled my days, till not a minute has been left for thoughts of fear and selfish sadness, and yet I dared not let my eyes stray in the direction of that monstrous wall. I lived with my gaze steadily fixed on those around me, and had the happiness of seeing the cloud of sadness gradually lift from beloved faces, and peace and cheerfulness come back into our home. My children's recollections of early childhood will not be marred by me. Then, life. The life I now live. The life my loved ones will live after I have left them. The life of millions who will live long after we have vanished. We, but not our thought, our striving, our influence. Life got hold of me again. Life holds me now, more than ever before. Universal, bounteous life took me in its strong arm to its trusted, palpitating breast, and from that harbour of love, of strength and hope, I dared look at last. Since Saturday, when you spoke of it, I have well searched again, but lo, I cannot any longer find the wall. In its place, I see a tiny speck, the mark where I shall fade into nothingness. The speck looks dark only when I spy it with selfish eyes. And nearly always, sometimes from a distance, sometimes at close range, it greets me by sending a ray of light out of its very centre. This ray darts through me in the hour of dejection. Best of all, it has made itself master of my thoughts, and my hope accompanies it on its way out of me, out of self, out of my country, out of our generation. A loving welcome to the child born out of wedlock. Strength and happy appreciation to the woman who conceived it in love. True manhood to the man who can never more abandon what is his veriest own. Bringing a world where each will stand on his own merit, where the same morals will apply to all, where a war minister will be as impossible to find as a hangman, where brotherhood will closely unite all mankind in an upward flowing stream, the strong helping the weak, till all shall have grown strong, strong to live and strong to die. where man will have learnt to master himself, after first having understood that he is his own master. A pleasant dream to you. Dream of my vision. Good night.